volunteers on the air. The W1AW Stroke 5 is available now. I haven't seen it spotted on my spotters. So.
Yeah, N5 ILQ has been doing some CW.
Okay, that's why, CW.
Yeah.
Anyway, there, you can talk to Mark Klein and get in there so you can operate as Stroke 5. Watch your frequencies. There's some frequencies that are allowed. Route 66 on the air. Lots of news on this one. I'll try to make it really fast because we've almost used our hour. We're combining, thanks to the efforts of Kyle Sloan and Jeff Dye. Jeff just stepped out. We're combining this with Parks on the Air, POTA. Kyle and Tom and Dwayne are working together on POTA sites and POTA activations. I am still the contact for Whiskey 6 Kilo. If you wish to operate, the site's available. Send me an email, I'll send you an ID and where you can reserve your time slots. Kyle, you want to talk about the POTA part?
Yeah, Jeff and I went out to the Oklahoma History Center yesterday afternoon and did a test run with N3FJP. For logging, we were able to get 23 QSOs, and we were able to get that successfully uploaded. Part of the thing with POTA that makes this unique is that W6K, being a special event call sign, they only have one way to set that up inside POTA for logging. So you could not do W5 TJS by yourself. You couldn't do W6K stroke W5 TJS. Doesn't work. It has to go through the club called W5MEL is what we're going to use because W6K is a child under that. I'm working on documentation right now that we will be able to get it so that you can operate W6K from a park on the air and you will still get credit as an operator, and those QSOs will show up in your individual activation totals.
Are there any Route 66 rules or about how close you have to physically have to be to somewhere on Route 66?
Yes and no. There are guidelines, no rules.
Okay. So you'd have to get lucky and have a park that was within that guideline to be able to do both.
No, not necessarily. We operate Whiskey 6 Kilo for the greater Oklahoma City area, but you know Route 66 is 40 feet wide and it's widest. So it's if you're in the general area kind of thing. Okay. If you activate the bridge in the park over at Lake Overholser, okay, that may not be in the POTA park, but it's on Route 66. Lake Arcadia, that's a twofer. It's on Route 66 and it's a POTA activation. Pops, not a park, but it's on Route 66. The Oklahoma History Center, the south parking lot of the state capitol, both of those are parks on the air. The National Memorial for Oklahoma City, that's a national park. You can't operate on the park, but you can operate next to it. Route 66 is within 2 miles of that location. So there's lots of opportunities just in the greater metro area to do a twofer, okay? It's a matter of if you want to do it or not. Kyle's working on the instructions. I've read his last draft, which he told me this morning. He updated again last night. And
again this afternoon.
And it should be very straightforward, okay? So, looking forward to it. We had 2,100 queues, I think, last year. I'd like to see a lot more now that we're doing a POTA inclusion.
Yeah.
So.
And it's one of those, if you're going to do Parks on the Air, if this is something that piques your interest, go to parksontheair.com and read over the documentation and get familiar with it so that any questions that you have can be addressed before it's time to go operate.
Because it's stricter than the Route 66.
Yes,
Yeah, it's much more strict about.
Yeah,
your
I can't
operating
imagine that
location.
if you're doing a park on the air, you've got to get 10 activations to count. I can't
Yeah.
imagine you couldn't get that if you were combined. I mean, you would just be swamped.
You should be swamped. I mean, we were able to get 23 queues last night between 17, 20, 30, and 40 meters operating 5 watts CW. So, I mean, you can get contacts, but like I said, they're very particular about location.
Yeah.
Part of these-
So
Don't you have to have a number?
Parks on the Air has there's a number that's associated with
Yeah.
each location. For example, at Arcadia, if you're on the north shore of Lake Arcadia, you are not within the confines of the Parks on the Air boundary.
Wow.
It would not count. So if you're gonna do Parks on the Air, please go to the website and get familiar with it before we operate. I'm working on documentation on how to do all of your logging with N3FJP to get that supported, so it'll be super quick and easy.
And if you want to link it with Route 66 on the air, drop me an email or CC me in the one you send. I think that's all the major details. Sam is working on getting us a post office box that we can put on our cards. Bill, didn't you print the cards for last year?
And the year before.
Okay, I know you've been doing it for a while, thank you.
I will be doing it again.
Okay, so as soon as we get our PO box and our address, everything lined up, thank you in advance. Okay.